Hall of the Mountain King. We're back at Spooky Bizarrity. The bridge ends abruptly, crumbling in disrepair. What's up, dog? They don't keep the roads up too well, do they? Not down here. Who do you think is responsible? Let's see what Johnny's got to say. Time to cut him loose, man? Well, now I'm having fun. Ha, okay. Slow night anyway. Let's boardwalk. This game is a fantastic journey. I wish there were more narrative games out there. A loop of decayed rope is coiled on the banister. Some rotted sections have been smoothed over with fine dust. Let's explore further. Some computers, eh? Broken computer monitors are heaped precariously among the rocks. What's this? It is a pet carrier. Pet carrier for cat or small dogs being left by the path. A calcified rag wadded in the corner may once have been a blanket. Little backpack here. A hiking backpack leans against a rock. It's empty except for a dusty bag of cat food and a few punch cards. The fire. Let's see what the fire holds. A pile of discarded electronics burns steadily in the center of the chamber. Who is this? Oh. It's triangles. Within triangles down here. Shifting, intersecting, overlaying. Isn't it romantic? Let's see. You're here to steal back the love of a boy you once knew, when you were too young to recognize the movements of the heart. And you're escorting her, pretending to have her interests at heart, while really, you're in love with the young woman as well, and so you've agreed to help him conspire to win her affections. But it's just a ploy to set him up for embarrassment, and diminish him out of the picture. What are you talking about? No, you're right. It's insipid. Derivative. I used to be really good at this. I had 11 novels published from the billionaire's bidding to the fields of longing. Real hot bodice ripping stuff, you know. I miss those days in my Lexington studio apartment, just me and my thesaurus steaming out the windows. Why did you stop writing? You know, suddenly it was all computers everywhere you went. I thought I might be able to do something with that, inject a little libido into those ugly beige boxes. So I went back to the university and studied human-computer interaction, and then I picked up Donald's research assistantship here as a tester, debugging. In my off hours I played around with the Doom love story at the core of our little simulation that seemed to amuse Donald, so I kept at it. I'm afraid I tinkered too much, made it too complex, and now work is never done. We don't ever have to add functionality, the bugs just grow on their own, too complex. I miss those days in my Lexington studio apartment. These kind of bizarre, curious people. And now there's an old man. We find more curiousness here. Donald puffs on a smouldering pipe while half mumbling, half singing an old country tune. Where the old green river runs, through hills and caves not known to us, down that sunless sea. Oh, who are you? What's that song? Well, you caught a verse from my absent-minded warbling. It's just a song from my youth. Something a dear friend used to sing to herself as we hacked on crystal radios in the boiler room. In old Kentucky, where my lovely home did build for me, where the old green river runs, through hills and caves not known to us, down to that sunless sea. From there on, it's all meandering rivers and romantic greenery, and that is... What were we talking about? What's that computer over there? It looks pretty vintage. It looks like a harmless old computer, doesn't it? Like some beat-up mainframe exhumed from a university basement, left in this cave to rot. Or to flower. Nope, it's no ordinary computer. I modified it extensively and in some pretty experimental ways, believe you me. And that's to say nothing of the software, but... You look like a technically minded sort of person. Tell me, do you know the effects of mold growth on diffuse-based transistor circuitry? It sounds like it was short-circuit. Certainly. Not all of it. Some moldy filaments are more or less conductive than others, and it grows in non-linear chaotic patterns. We can guide it a bit through a simple application of classical horticulture, but we can't produce specific results, only tendencies. Thwarted and feeble, we hammer on this derelict keyboard. My name is Reason, King of Kings. But we're mere gardeners in the ruins. Our keystrokes echo off into the tunnels, boundless and bare. The caves stretch away. We're too late. Always too late. Did you say something? You're about to tell us about the software. Oh, the software. My life's work. XANADU. You've heard of it? Perhaps you've read about it in a journal. It's been years since I published anything. XANADU has evolved significantly since I explained its data structures in literary multitudes, hypertextual narrative as post-structural witness. Evolved and then deteriorated. I'm afraid you're too late, fellow hypertext enthusiast. As the mold accumulated on the circuitry, XANADU blossomed for a moment into something holy and enchanted, and then all the charm was broken. Do you have any idea what it's like to spend your life building something and then sit powerlessly as your work declines into ruin? I drive deliveries for a small antique shop. We're closing down. Shuffling around the dusty ghosts of antiquity. Well, I have my own ghosts, and I keep them in there, in XANADU. It's running on that glorious dusty machine. Take a look if you like. Too late to do anything but smoke and reminisce anyway. Far too late to do anything. Let's speak to Andrew. Do you know that when I first... if this cave were larger, could it... Now I'm getting ahead of myself. I've got it. How would you characterize this space, the one we're standing in now? Seems endless. You have no idea how right you are. Decades of mapping and notating. How can you tell me? It makes it seem endless, you know. That huge fire, the smoke just disappears. Mysterium Trendum. It sends the shadows scattering momentarily, lights the mouths of unseen tunnels, and that fire is constantly reshaping. Close your eyes. Will you close your eyes? And if you close yours... Okay. I can do it from memory. Good. Now, you're standing at the top of a rocky peak. A tongue of flame licks the shadowy anatomies. Where are we? Oh. Here again. How disappointing. Sorry to disappoint. That's my fault. I shouldn't be so attached to the future. It's always getting in the way of my work. Better be in the moment, carefully observing and documenting with no attachment. Let me give you an example. I was a grad student studying on his project. He said we needed someone with a more analytical mind to do descriptive writing. Someone who'd appreciate the cave descriptions as real labour, instead of taking their authorial voice for granted. Donna warned me it would be long hours of typing painstakingly detailed descriptions into the computer, and I've put in the hours, believe me, I've put in the hours. I've described every facet of this cave in such detail that sometimes I don't know if I'm reading or looking, writing or exploring. Often in the dark and lonely moments, I worry that in my sleep I've transcribed rooms from my dreams into the system. How would we know? They can only be entered with precise, faithful detail. That's all I know how to write, and all I dream about is caves. I only dream of caves. Let's see XANADU. I guess we need to power it on. How do you think we get it started? This old thing, maybe there's a hand crank. Oh, it has a run key. Act 3, Scene 5. XANADU. This thing is in rough shape. Try blowing on it. Connie blows some dust off the keyboard and presses the return key. Okay, that's worse. Looks kind of like a house, type house. Did that say Lula? Damn, I can't tell what she's saying. My portable degausser with me. Old systems like this one can build up a remnant magnetic field that sort of warps everything along at whatever pattern it's settled into, you know? The degausser clears that until suddenly shaking the magnetic field around until it's uniform again. That's how I like to think of it anyway, like a shaking snow globe. It's worth a shot. And peace and calm. Still totally crazy. Wow, okay. Where are you? Which end of file? Press any key to quit. This is a lost cause. What a piece of junk. That old man did talk it up a little bit for what it was, I think. Still though, we saw some part of Lula in there, which is kind of curious. Act 3, Scene 6. Hall of the Mountain King. Bizarre. What was that about Lula? Maybe Donald knows how to clear it up a bit. Curiousness. Let's go speak to this person here. Roberta. The kingdom is in peril. Well, what else is new? Where's the kingdom? You're in the throne room. There are 3 legendary treasures hidden throughout the castle that will restore these ruins to their former glory. What do they look like? She's messing with you, kid. Nah. Enchanted jewelry, talismans, a magic mirror that prevents the future, a magic shield that protects the bearer from age, a magic chest that's always filled with... I never went to the university. It was an independent scholar. It means I took to the public libraries like a beachcomber, and I studied fairy tales. Then I came to work for Donald. I paid the bills, rubbed leathering elbows with academics, scrapped black mould from cave walls, and finally now, I carry the firewood into Sensence. The kingdom is in peril. She's the most curious person we've met so far. I guess let's just go this way. We need to speak to what's his name. I guess we can't. I guess we've got to go through the gate. Do we? Yes, we do. Let's actually kind of go over here. A massive gate constructed out of the scavenged material blocks passage down the far side of the spire. We really need to go this way? Yeah, here. Let's go talk to Donald. This place is not easy to navigate. So, you've seen it for yourself. What's left of it? Is that the end? The chalky bones of a beautiful dream. But you can see what it once was, can't you? Can't you? There's so much more to it. Ornate labyrinths of memory, exhaustively simulated parallel cave ecosystems, real artificial intelligence built on sophisticated neural network algorithms. The birds in the forest could flock in 3 dimensions. The bats could learn to sing. And then it began to crumble when the strangers came. At first we only heard them walking heavily through the caves, dragging things around, hammering, clattering their tools. Sometimes we heard working songs, never close enough to make out real voices, just their echoes cascading wordlessly in the tunnels. And then we caught a glimpse of one. What did they look like? They look like... No, it's too horrible. I shouldn't be telling you about this. They're dangerous, they're strange. I should never have tried to outwit them. They were always too much for me. But it's too late now. If I'd listened to Lula, Lula Chamberlain? Yes, of course. Do you know her? We're looking for her now. No, she's gone now. She left. We built this together. Did you know Lula, Joseph and I? Lula's gone from here. But Donald points across the cave with his pipe. She's still in there. In XANADU. I don't know where Lula is now, or how to get there from here, or how to unwind that damn tangled highway, but the XANADU, before its ruin, was faultless as an oracle, a shrine to perfect simulation. Until... maybe. Those weird interlopers destroyed my XANADU. Perhaps they know how to fix it. Maybe dangerous. I've sent many eager seconds to negotiate with them to repair my masterpiece. Back there, that tunnel. Push back the vines. Crawl out into the darkness. Watch your step. After a while, you'll feel the terrain change beneath your hands and knees, from rock to crystal, and then to mud. Then you'll be out. That's where the strangers come from. Now leave me alone. I still have a bit of mould in my pipe and a few dreams left. Act 3, Scene 7. Where the strangers come from. We're out. Well, this can't be right. Looks like an old church. Worth a look inside, I guess. I want to stay outside. Why? I think I saw a lizard. I'll stay with him. Okay, we'll make it quick. Man, there's a lot to look at right here. An epitaph is engraved on the stone grave marker. Sarah Wirt, generous disposition, will be missed. Below the inscription, a note is written in white chalk. HD8191T, filled, date June 29. Notes of almond. Mysterious. An epitaph is engraved. Damien Gross and Samuel Cole. We think you two would have really liked each other. HT8192B, field date July 24th, weird finish. Josie Malice, always had a far-off look, probably still does. HT8192E, field date August 1st, aftertaste of rainwater. Charlie Miller or Brian Cupini. HT8192N, field date September 8, sweet and fungal. Robert Yang would have wanted it this way. HT8192Q, field date September 9, maple turpentine. Jake Cornett should have said something. HT8192X, field date November 1st, sense of foreboding. Unknown seemed reasonable. HT8192Y, field date November 2nd, easy on the nose. Super strange. What's up, June? Find any lizards? I wasn't really looking. Nice cover story, kid. Is that guy your boyfriend? No, what's a boyfriend anyway? It's a word people use because everyone else does. It doesn't mean anything to me. He's my cricket. See, it means something. It's specific. Sounds lonely. Not for us. You just got to make choices and own them. You think I was born this foxy? I came off the assembly line a half-foot shorter, all grey, no eyes. They were going to have us clearing out the old mine. Doesn't matter what you look like under all that rock and water, a bunch of grey shadows shoveling and hammering invisibly at the walls, draining the tunnels. Johnny found some gear, an old tape player. We hid away in an underwater cave and listened to it over and over, and we knew we weren't miners. We slipped out onto the road, these two featureless shadows, and ever since that night we've been detailing, colouring in, specifying. I feel less like myself without my folks. Sure, some people are born into a family. Nothing wrong with that. There you are. What did you find in there? It wasn't... Hey, what's going on? You look flushed, old man. Doesn't matter. Right. Okay, we got what we need. Let's go. Act 3, Scene 8. Hall of the Mountain King. Let's see what Donald says. Trace an orbit round the road. Close your eyes with holy dread. For we are mould and whiskey fed, and drank from rivers down below. We found your strangers. We know how to fix your damn machine, but I'm not sure it was worth it. Oh, soon the visions will return. What have you found? They say you need to type in a specific phrase to restore it. Oh. Bit of a poem to rally the illustrious spirit, of course. Well then, type away, by all means. Do not hesitate, type away. Okay, let's go see. Let's go back to the craziness of XANADU. Okay, we're supposed to type dome in air. Weird. Just following instructions, here we go. Act 3, Scene 9. XANADU. You're standing at the end of a road before a small brick building. Around you is a forest. Check out the building. Enter building. You are inside a building, a storage shed for the national park. There's a sensible modern electric lantern nearby. Get the lantern. Get lantern. XANADU. Taken. Exit building. Enter forest. That's not something you can enter. Just type a direction. North. In forest. You are in open forest with a deep valley to one side. Can we climb a tree? Climb tree. I don't think much is to be achieved by that. Sorry. Can we dig a hole? Dig a hole. You can't see any such thing. Really limited vocabulary. South. You're in forest. Hey, it's a maze. North. You're in forest. Lula is here, soldering replacement components in a small handmade radio. Oh, we should talk to her. Ask Lula how she's doing. Hi, Donald. I'm getting the strangest interference out here. I've been tuning the radio circuits gradually as we go, swapping capacitor values and tweaking resistor networks. It was working for a while, but everything I can pick up sounds so distant and muffled. Lula hands you the radio. Well, maybe you'll have better luck. You're good at this stuff. Just don't forget to give it back. East. You're in forest. Joseph is here, tapping with a small stylus and a modified pocket braille slate. A small grey kitten, no more than a few weeks old, dozes comfortably on top of his backpack. East. You're in forest. South. Edge of hole. You're at the edge of a massive hole. The dirt gives way to rock as the ground sinks into darkness. The computer tied to your upper back slickens with sweat in the afternoon sun. The rope slung around your shoulder has slipped under the strap of your back, digging uncomfortably against your collarbone. Go down in the hole. It seems pretty obvious. Down. The cave walls are too slick to climb safely without assistance. You lose your footing and fall to your death. Your score was 0 out of a possible 8,192. What? You may continue or quit. Continue. Edge of hole. Maybe we need to climb down more carefully. You should shine the light into the hole. Light lamp. Your lamp is now on. Shine lamp in hole. The lamplight only reaches a few yards down the hole where the rock is coated in a slimy black mould. You can tell that the walls are too slick to climb safely without assistance. Try using the rope to climb down safe. Tie rope to tree. The rope is tied snugly to a tree trunk. Down. Your feet slip a few times on a slimy rock, but you remain stable. Lula and Joseph descend carefully after you. In bed quilt. This is mysterious. You're in bed quilt. A long east-west passage with holes everywhere. Joseph and Lula remove the computer equipment they're carrying on their backs and begin setting up. That's our last trip. Everything's down here now. Say something back to her. Say something back. You make an awkward joke. Don't be so morbid. Lula looks pensive. What's the gear they're carrying? Ask Lula about gear. Sure, Donald, we may as well take the inventory. I've got the tape machine, the synthesized parts we borrowed from the School of Music. It's all tuned up to my voice so we won't have to type it. Joseph has his slate and the punch cards he's transcribed from the poems we read him. He's got the typewriter and the paper tape reader. And you've got the CRT display. How's your back holding up? Ask her about the cave. Ask Lula about cave. Having second thoughts? I don't blame you. It's unsettling down here. Weird acoustics. Earlier as we were climbing down, I thought I heard voices for a moment, or not voices themselves, but the echoes of voices singing. Some kind of eerie, tuneless working song. I'm glad I'm not down here alone. Joseph looks uncomfortable. Jealous. Hey Donald, can you help me wire up these generators? I'll assemble the synthesizer, but I could use some help with the serial interface if you've got time. You hear an unfamiliar echo from a tunnel to the east. Maybe if we help Lula, she'll have some more to tell us. Help Lula. Thanks, Donald. I can never remember which colour lead goes to which pin. Lula begins unpacking a box of wires and terminals. Do you think there are paintings down here? Cave paintings, I mean? Some old pottery shards from when the world was young and early men and women huddled in these caves too. Do you know, I think these cultural fossils are the saddest fossils. Sadder than animal remains, I mean. You might come across a petrified mollusk or a partial dinosaur footprint, and we say there was a point of contact here where a body touched the earth, and maybe there's a little bit of evidential garbage. but the life who owned that body never cared and has moved on anyway. That's the end of it. But suppose I shine my lantern on one of these walls, and I see a crude painting thousands of years old, 2 men and a woman, charcoal and blood on rock. Someone put that there to keep something on the rock after she passed. A hope, a relationship or a moment, a worry maybe, a regret. She made a painting to keep something alive for her, but like that dead mollusk and that itinerant dinosaur, she had to move on. Whatever it was is gone, and now we're looking at this painting, this dangling copy with no original. You're interrupted by the ominous echo of a grating, scraping sound from the east, louder than before. What the hell was that? Let's check it out. In tunnels. You rush down the tunnel with Joseph and Lula close behind. It kind of got intense back there. No wonder they're still thinking about it. The tunnel narrows and soon you find yourself crawling on your hands and knees, navigating the tunnel. Gradually becomes more awkward. The smooth rock gives way to jagged crystalline surfaces. Scratches and taps echo from the end of the tunnel, some short and piercing, some slow and groaning as if dampened by water. And the tunnel opens into a large room. Crystal room. What the hell? You're in a large irregular chamber. The walls, floor and ceiling are covered with crystalline projections. Strangers are here. Scraping black mould from the crystals, they look up when you enter. One of them seems to speak. Let's listen to what he says. The stranger reaches for a box he's carrying and presses a plastic button. The box whirs to life and a crackly voice blurts something unintelligible, and then slows to a deep gurgle. He looks at his companions momentarily in confused disappointment, and then he returns his awful gaze to you. Joseph flees through a tunnel to the north. Lula flees through a tunnel to the northeast. Follow Lula. Run north! Lula's headlamp scans across the northern passage as you run, soft shadows 100 metres perplexingly from floor to ceiling. You feel around to distinguish shadows from crystals, but eventually find yourself cornered. You've hit a dead end. Who are they? Let's find a way out of here. Escape. That's not a verb I recognise. Look for escape. You can't see such a thing. Listen, I think they've gone back to work. They seem strange somehow. Maybe they've forgotten about us. Let's try to pass them quickly now. Don't make eye contact, and then we'll find our way back to the equipment. Bed quilt. You're in bed quilt, a long east-west passage with holes everywhere. Lula's here, panting for breath. Did they follow us? Where's Joseph? She seems pretty scared. Reassure Lula. I know, but never mind. I don't want to think about it. I guess we should wait for Joseph here. This is where we'll go, right? May as well wait. Time passes. Lula nervously runs her hand along a vein in the cave wall. I guess we could wait for an hour or so. Wait for an hour. Time passes. A shifting, fluttering sound grows louder from one of the tunnels. What's that, Joseph? 5 disoriented bats stumble through your lantern light and off into the adjacent passage. Junebug, search for him. Search. I only understood you as far as wanting to search. We have to be more specific. With the equipment. Search equipment. The various computer and audio equipment casts angular shadows into the tunnels as you scan slowly across the pile, but nothing. Down one of the tunnels? Search tunnel. You select a tunnel at random and your lantern illuminates several sets of footprints in the mouldy cave floor, but impossible to identify. Joseph climbs down from the rope still tied above. That damn sound, those damn voices. I don't even know what direction I was running. I rode through that network of tunnels. I ran my hand along every wall, always turning left, but every turn and every rock felt the same. For all I knew, I was running in circles, and finally I ended up here. And I hid and I panicked. I heard you talking, but I didn't think I could trust my senses. But listen, there's one thing I've got to tell you. While I was out there, lost in the tunnels and caves, I came across the Zero. I had no idea. It's like a real place. They pick up garbage, they deliver mail, they go to work and church, but it has an awful kind of emptiness. Wandering through, I heard horrible echoes. Weird images got burned in my mind's eye. A television, a scarecrow, a crystal, a feather, a sandwich, a CRT monitor, a bottle, and an anchor. Lula looks down at her feet. What's up with Lula? Nothing. Just... Joseph, you sound... disturbed. Lula, you've heard the same damn stories I have. It doesn't matter now, damn it. I'm leaving. To hell with all of it. Well, we should stop him. He shouts at me at Joseph about the project you're working on together. You'll die in these damn cold caves. And what about those men? You know they'll come back. Tell him we can find somewhere to start a fire. He shouts at me at Joseph about going deeper into the caves. Did you hear their voices? They're not... They'll find you, but not me. I'm going back to the surface. Stop! You're stupid. Fight is ringing through the whole damn cave. Joseph is right, we can't stay here. I'm leaving too, but I'm not going back to the surface. I'm taking my station wagon. I'm heading down the Zero. Whoa, don't let her leave us here. You plead with Lula about your continued collaboration. I'll send you this tape when I'm done recording. I'll put it in the mail, and then you can see what your damn machine does with it. Lula and Joseph have left. Abandoned by your collaborators, your confidants, your companions, the only two among your colleagues with whom you've ever trusted the gift of your friendship. Pretty thick, sounds like Beardos is heartbroken. You wander the tunnels alone, dragging along the components of your unrealized masterpiece, combing the underground passages for a new site in which to realize your vision. Sounds like genius. How do you mean? Vain. Vanity, ain't it the truth? My Aunt Remedios, before she got into the whole ethnomusicography thing, she was a painter, mostly nudes and oil. She had this model, I'll never forget him. Big, classically physically guy, looking like he was about to storm Troy. He made everyone call him the Colonel. Weaver and I saw this guy naked a lot. You couldn't help it. He was always posing somewhere in the house, chasing the light from room to room while Aunt Remedios made a sketch of his profile or worked on the right mix of pigments for his abdomen. The Colonel had this magnificent hair, long black hair that ran down just to the bottom of his shoulder blades. One evening, he was standing next to an open window in the back of the house, and the sun was setting, early spring I think. It was kind of windy. Aunt Remedios was trying to get his hair right. She kept arranging it like half in front, half behind, running over his shoulder and laying across his chest in this very specific way. But it itched him or something, and he'd do this weird indignant shuffle thing, or the wind from the open window would push it around, or he'd start and turn his neck. Weaver and I ran by, everything would be tangled again. The final product was a swirl of black lines billowing around the top of his neck. Weird thing is, I don't even remember his face now, just that black swirl. Probably the best one she ever painted. Back into the weirdness, the Hall of the Mountain King. After what may have been years, you stumble out of a tunnel into a cavernous open space. Stalactites adorn the ceiling like grotesques. In the centre of the room is an enormous rocky spire. This is where you'll set up your equipment, and establish your legacy. It's XANADU. Now is the time to continue your work. Research Assistant 0. Realism Index 37%. Romance Index 2. Mold Coverage 0. You may hire a new research assistant, assign assistants to task, or sleep until tomorrow. Assign assistants to task. You currently have no available research assistants to assign. Hire a new one. Uploading job advertisement to university message boards. You have hired Weaver, who studies mathematics. Assign. You may assign research assistants to debugging, transcription, or speculation. Speculation. Hire a new research assistant. Hire. No new applicants. Sleep. Weaver discards centuries of exhaustive data on the uniformity of cause and effect. Now is the time to continue your work. Let's try and hire new. Hired Andrew, study statistics. Debugging, transcription, or speculation. Debugging. You have 2 research assistants available today. Assign how many to debugging? 2. Hire new. Andrew makes adjustments to the echolocation algorithm. Bats now fly normally instead of getting hung up on each other's wings and clustering together like horrible leathery tumbleweeds. Weaver fixes some weird math with some weirder math. Greasy black mold is collecting on the computer equipment. Now is the time to continue. Okay, I got 2. Mold's getting increased every time we do this. Let's see if we can get anybody else. Hired Roberta, who studies fairy tales. Assign tasks. Transcription. You have 3 extensions available today. How many to transcription? 1. Assign to a task. Two to speculation. Andrew carefully transcribes the sounds of dripping water in all their variations over a period of several hours. Roberta makes a convincing argument for the edibility of stone, and Weaver muses about the love lives of fungal colonies. Intruders! The strangers are doing something to the equipment, but you can't make out what. You hide behind a rock until they leave. With trepidation, you emerge from your hiding place hours later. Now is the time to continue your work. I'm not convinced this is getting us any closer to the 0. She's damn right. Mold 0. You may hire a new research assistant, and all the same. Let's just sleep. Let's see if we can get past. Try to quit and start over. I want to keep playing. Come on, kid. We got stuff to do. Yes, quit. Quit game. I understood as far as you wanted to quit. Maybe you have to lose or die something in order to start over. Smash a computer. Violence isn't the answer to this one. Maybe we have to wait it out. And Weaver follows the strangers into the tunnels. She doesn't return, but neither do they. Years pass, mould accumulates. You and the remaining research assistants take to the burning disused equipment in the centre of the room. The black mould is intensively flammable and makes an excellent catalyst. It leaves behind a sweet, narcotic perfume. One night you have visitors, outsiders, different ones. And then later that night, an old friend. Lula. You really did go deeper into the caves. Premature end of file. Press any key to quit. Huh? Very bizarre. Very bizarre. Act 3, Scene 10. Hall of the Mountain King. And this game gets weirder and weirder. Oh my god, Lula, Jesus. You really did go deeper into the caves. You're easy enough to find. I met a few of your former assistants. One can't help but hear things. So this is what became of our project. Huh, I've made some additions. Joseph stole the data tapes for the first half, so I've had some blank spots to fill. Yes, I know. This is Lula here. He published his version, actually. I'm sorry to report this a bit tediously sentimental. We've been looking for you. So, you found the address data? Just pass it over to Donald here. Donald, we'll be here and crunch these numbers. We're looking to sort out a street name collision. Dogwood Drive. Wasn't the Bureau going to process it? I insist. I have cycles to spare. I'll just pack my pipe and get to it. Should only be an hour or so. Andrew will carry it over to. I'll be at the Bureau for the rest of the night. Just mark it private materials for the attention of Senior Clerk Chamberlain. How do we get to the Bureau from here? The bridge? Yes, the bridge. Through the gate over there. Now, we too recede into history. Good night, Donald. Meet me at the Bureau, and we'll get you on your way. Head counterclockwise to the cathode ray, then turn around. Then it's just clockwise until you find the Bureau. Counterclockwise cathode ray. Then it's clockwise till you find the Bureau. Between us, I think you should drive. Let's head out. Here we are, back again. See how dog's doing. Thanks for waiting, old man. We've gone a bit longer than expected. It'll be okay, old man. What's up, Johnny? What happened up there? I'm actually not sure. Very mysterious, man. Let's get on out. It's back on 0.